think that hostas and hydrangeas, they're some of the most beloved plants that people have in their yards, but I think they're also the most misunderstood plants. I do a lot of email support and text support and phone support and house calls and garden walkthroughs and things like that. And the biggest question that I ask people, I see the shovel in the hosta, where the hostas are growing, and they're like, I have to divide the hostas and move them. I go, why? They're perfectly fine where they are. Well, they're too crowded. And I go, that's what hostas do. They're not meant to be like a single plant. They grow in these big, beautiful clumps like this. So one of my favorite hashtags that I do on my social media is hashtag did you know? So did you know that most hostas can live for generations in the same spot without ever having to move them? Okay? So if you're going to get the garden bug in the springtime, best to be starting some seeds instead, not dividing your hostas. The rose, the hydrangea portion of that class, again, hydrangeas are pretty well misunderstood. Biggest question I get, obviously, is why isn't my hydrangea blooming? And I'll say, well, it depends on where you planted it. Did you plant it, on the west side of the house? It's too much sun. They like partial shade. They like things like a northeastern exposure or an eastern exposure. When you plant hydrangea, pretty much any plant on the west side of your house, especially here in western New York, we get our winter winds that come in from the west. And what that does is it actually freezes the flower buds on some of the hydrangeas. So that could be an issue of why they're not blooming for you also.